Hello and welcome you all. This is Ganesh Dhumar from Signet Public School, New Narai. Today I am going to teach you a poem named A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. So before we start actual poem, I have some questions for you. Have you ever visited zoo? Okay. How was your experience about zoo? When I was visited zoo, at that time I have seen that various animals, those who are not active, and these animals are not happy as well. Because users tell me that, is that their natural habitat? Obviously not. So animals' natural habitat is not that. Their natural habitat is the forest. So in this poem, the same theme which is conveyed by the poet Leslie Norris, that one animal, the tiger, is there and the tiger is in the zoo. The two contrasting things which are mentioned in the poem about the tiger, that is, the tiger is in the zoo and the tiger is in the forest. So we are going to see everything one by one. So we will begin with the first stanza. The first stanza, which is there: he stalks in his vivid stripes, the few steps in his cage, on the pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. So this is the first stanza. Now we'll see the explanation of the first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripe. He stalks means the tiger. His stalks means the tiger is walking in an angry or a proud manner. In his vivid stripes. Vivid means very bright, and stripe means the long lines which you can see on the body of the tiger. So he stalks on vivid stripes, the few steps of the cage. So tiger is walking in the cage, and he is taking few steps because the space is limited. So tiger is taking few steps in the cage on the pads of velvet quiet. So as you know that the tiger's claws are there, and below the claw there is the velvet like cushions are there. So that is called the pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. So tiger is walking on his legs, and the claws are there. Under the claws the velvet like portion is there, that is called velvet quiet. So tiger is walking quietly, though tiger is in the rage. Rage means the tiger is angry, but the tiger is walking quietly because he couldn't do anything. So this is the explanation of the first stanza which we have seen here. Then we'll move towards the next stanza. So in the first stanza we have seen the explanation of the which is given about the tiger which is in the zoo. Now we'll see the second stanza. The second stanza, which you can see here: he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through a long grass near the water hole where the plum deer pass. So this is the second stanza. Now we'll see the explanation of the second stanza. He should be lurking in the shadow. As we know that if the tiger would have in the forest, he should have been lurking in the shadow. He should be have lurking. He should have lurking in means waiting secretly. In the shadow means in the darkness, sliding through the long grass. So sliding through the long grass and near the water hole means tiger is waiting for a prey and just sliding through slowly from the long grass. And as you might have seen various National Geographic like these channels, how the tiger is catching his prey. So same like that, which is poet told here. And where the plum deer pass, wherever the plum means the fat deer which is passing through, or the various animals which comes there to drink the water there. So the tiger could attack on these animals and catch his prey. So this is the explanation which you have seen, that the tiger is in the forest. So tiger would have do all these things if he is in the forest. So this is the tiger's natural way of killing his prey. We will move towards the third stanza. He should be snarling around the houses at the jungle's edge, boring his white fangs and his claws, terrorizing the village. So he should be snarling around the houses. So as you know that the deforestation is going on. Humans are cutting the trees for their own purpose, for building the houses and industries for various reasons. So they are expanding their area and they are cutting the trees of the forest as well. So this is going on nowadays. So he should be snarling around the houses at the jungle's edge. The tiger is in search of the prey or in search of food. That's why the tiger is moving here and there. And the tiger is going at the jungle's edge, means where human habitation is there. So tiger is entering into human habitation, and tiger, the people, those who are afraid. Next lines which we see, baring his white fangs and his claw, terrorizing the village. Baring his white fangs means tiger is showing his white fangs, means white teeth, and his claws to terrorizing the village. Terrorizing means he is trying to make afraid of these villagers. Actually, he don't want to just attack on these villagers, but he just trying to threaten the villagers. The tiger is in hungry, and that's why he is searching a food. So that's why tiger is in the human habitation at the edge of the jungle. So in the first stanza we have seen that the tiger is in the cage. In the second stanza we have seen the tiger is in the forest, and in the third stanza also we have seen the tiger is in the forest and at the edge of jungle, and how he is entering in the human habitation, as we know that. Now we'll move towards the next stanza, that is the fourth stanza. You can see here, but he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind the bars, stalking in the length of cage, ignoring the visitors. So we'll see the explanation of this stanza. But he is locked in the concrete cell. Now tiger is locked in the concrete cell, means he is in the cage, and as you know, concrete cell is there, and he is behind the bars, which you can see here. Behind the bar the tiger is there, and no use of the strength of the tiger here, and he couldn't do anything behind the bars. So tiger is behind the bar, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring the visitors. So tiger is stalking. Stalking means the tiger is moving here and there. The tiger is walking in a proud or angry mood, right? The tiger is angry but couldn't do anything. So, and as you know, the tiger is the animal who feels very proud on himself whenever he is in the forest. But in the cage also, the tiger is feeling proud, and that is the proud creature. And the tiger is moving here and there in the cage, whatever cage is there, and he is caged in that, and he is ignoring the visitors. So whichever people, those who come to see the tiger in the cage for their own entertainment, so the tiger is ignoring these visitors. The tiger is not interested in these visitors, because daily the people come for their own fun, for their own entertainment. But tiger, everything, he is caged there and he couldn't do anything. That's why the tiger is not happy, which we can see here. And this is the explanation about the fourth stanza. Now we'll see the last stanza of the poem, that is the fifth stanza. I will read the stanza. He hears the voice of the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. As we know, the patrolling cars, which you know that which cars which are keeping watch on the animals, or if anybody is left in the zoo like that. So these cars are there, and these cars are there at night, just moving here and there in the zoo. So the tiger hears the last voice at night of the patrolling cars, and the patrolling cars which disturbs the sleep of the tiger there. And then the tiger wakes up, and the tiger which with his brilliant eyes, the tiger which see towards the car, means it might be like that, it is like that. The tiger is, that means the beam of the light is in the eyes of the tiger. That's why the tiger's eyes, which are already bright, these become more brilliant and bright. And after that, the tiger is watching at the brilliant stars. The brilliant stars means the bright stars in the sky, which you can see here. The tiger is watching because no option is left, and in this way, this is the fifth stanza of the poem. Okay, so hope you understood the explanation of this poem. Now I will tell you the rhyming scheme and the poetic devices which are used in the poem. The rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B, because caged and rage, these words are there. So the rhyming scheme, these are the rhyming words which are there. So rhyming scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B. And the poetic devices which are used in the poem, these are the personification. The tiger is personified. The poet refer him as a he, so that's why that is the figures of speech of the personification. Then the metaphor, the pads of velvet quiet. So tiger's claws are compared with the velvet, so this is the indirect comparison which is there in the metaphor. So the metaphor figures of speech. Then the alliteration figures of speech which is used here. The plum deer pass, the pp sound is repeated twice, so that's why that figures of speech is alliteration. And one more figures of speech is there, that is the enjambment. The lines which are there continues without any punctuation mark. So these are the poetic devices which we have seen here now, and the poet which use here now. So that's all about the poem. Hope you understood this, and with this we stop here. Thank you.